Hello and welcome into this week's edition of
Yiddy!
I'm Dubz.
Hey, I'm Nina.
Incomparable Nina Blanco. And we thank you for spending this beautiful Monday or whatever day you're listening to with us.
Yeah.
We kind of cracked on the weather a couple weeks ago, so I wanted to give it a shout out for being 75 and sunny.
It's like 80 right now.
It's amazing. I needed it.
I know, for real.
I pulled out the whitest whites of me and put them on display, hoping we can get a little bit of sun. Well, thank you for joining us. As always, we start with you, me, and we. Mm-hmm. So before we start talking about Will Smith and Chris Rock, we'll say, Nina, what do you want to complain about?
I want to complain about the wedding industry.
Oh.
I am planning a wedding, getting married in a couple of months, and it's been chaos trying to just, get everything together on top of how expensive everything is for weddings. More specifically, I guess I have some beef with wedding dress designers because I saw a post today. So I always talk about my little Facebook groups. I'm a part of a bunch of bridal Facebook groups just to, get help, get motivation, get ideas from other brides. And one of the brides posted this morning about it, that they also have some beef with the wedding dress designers because wedding dress sizes are nothing like the regular clothes sizes that you buy in store.
What about dress sizes? Are they the same as dress sizes?
Nope, completely different.
That's crazy.
This is not something that I knew going into buying a wedding dress. So when I went shopping for a wedding dress, it's like a one size thing. And they usually get bigger sizes and then they clip you in. So you put the dress on, it's probably going to be big on you or whatever. And then they take clips in the back of the dress and they cinch you up so it looks perfect.
Right. And then they fit it for you though, right?
Sure. Yeah. And so when I had gotten my dress and it was a size 10. For me, a size 10 is a little bit bigger, but I don't know, I gained some weight and whatever. So, but she's like, I was like, yeah, I'm going to lose a little bit of weight or whatever. She's like, okay, well, I'll give you a size 10. And I was like, oh. And she's like, what you tried on today was like a 12 or a 14. It was a couple sizes bigger. And I was like, okay, not thinking much about it. But then I got my wedding dress and I came home and I tried it on. And that thing is not a size 10. It is so small. I have to lose a bunch of weight in order to even fit into my dress.
This is mind-blowing.
Yeah, wedding.
Why would you actively try to confuse people?
Exactly. So I was reading the comments on this original post that I saw from someone bringing this up, and I was like, oh my gosh, yes, because my dress doesn't fit me like I thought it was going to. I'm thinking a size 10. I'm going to get in that no problem. I might even have to gain some weight to fit into a size 10. That's what I was thinking. And then I try it on, and this thing is so tiny, and I'm like, what the hell size? What is this? But I was reading the comments, and people are like, well, to make consumers feel better, America screwed this up for us. To make females feel better about the clothes that we're buying, they marked the sizes lower on normal clothes that you would buy for every day. And then wedding dress sizes are the true sizes.
But how could that?
I don't know, dude. I don't know.
So here's what's gonna either make you really unhappy or maybe blow your mind if you didn't know it.
What?
But your waist is not 10 inches.
No.
So why is it called a size 10?
I don't know.
It's just a random number.
Exactly.
I am not a size 10. I'm a size 38. And that's because my waist is 38 inches around.
Which makes sense. That makes sense. Yeah.
So when did it get to and it probably did, like you said, have to do with something of making women feel better that you I can buy a size 6 instead of a size 30.
Yeah, exactly.
But if you just went by the measurement of inches, I guess they wanted not to be humble. You don't ask a woman her, you know what I mean?
Right.
So if you had to come on this podcast and say oh, I'm a size 26, everybody would know you're 26 inches around. Whereas if you say, I'm a size 10. I'm I don't know what that means.
You're a medium. Cool. I don't know. Okay. Right. But so I ordered this dress and it's too small for me and there are no refunds or exchanges. And so I just have to bust my ass and attempt to lose weight or get a seamstress to I don't know, up my dress size, but I'm pretty pissed about it.
Well, so that was something that I was going to say is like, you can always just go to a regular tailor and they can fix it, right?
Yeah, and I need to get alterations on this dress anyway, just because it's too long, because that's another thing too, is like these dresses, they make them as long as possible, and you're going to have to get alterations. It's another cost on top of just getting married. You have to have alterations because your dress is going to be entirely too long.
Now, I've heard of like dress swaps before.
Yeah.
Is there like a Facebook group where you could like go on and be like, hey, I've got a fake size 10. Does anybody want to swap it?
No, because that's my dress.
No, you do.
I like my dress. I love my dress.
Yeah.
I just can't fit in it right now.
Yeah, but you're an amazing person and you're going to get there.
I hope so.
You got so much time. Your wedding is at the end of the summer.
I'm stressing about it. You know what I do when I stress? I eat a lot of Cheez-Its.
But it's at the end of the summer, so it's going to be good weather. It's not like it's the beginning of the summer and like you have to work out in the cold of winter. It's going to be beautiful out.
Okay.
And I think, this is the important part. I think you're not counting the amount of weight you're going to drop just by sweating in your house because you don't have air conditioning.
That's true. I literally lose a couple pounds every year from how hot my house is.
I mean, it's pretty ghastly. So yeah, I just think you got this.
But for future brides, just in case you don't know, order a few sizes up than what you're used to.
He didn't tell you that at the dress store.
No, because they measured me out and they were like, oh yeah, we'll get you. And they made the assumption of like, okay, what size I am and stuff. And they were like, we're going to order you a size 10. And I was like, cool. I'm going to lose 5 pounds or whatever. And they're like, cool. But then the size 10 they ordered me, I'm like, I got to lose 15 pounds for this shit.
And it's funny because literally, I've gotten nice suits before.
Yeah.
Everything is still measured in inches for dudes.
For girls, it's so stupid.
It's like a 16-inch neck, right? And a 30-inch arm, and you know what I mean?
Do you happen to know, are men's sizes in the U.S. the same as in Europe?
No, because they use metric.
Oh.
So it's there it's a 44 and a half, and here it's a 30
centimeters.
Yeah,
I don't fucking know.
So it's different, but it's the same concept. I could just convert inches to, metric and still have the same quote unquote size.
This camera angle.
You messed it up now. She messed up her camera angle. Yeah, you got it. You got it. All right,
okay.
You, me, and we. Now it's my turn.
Your turn.
And we're going to talk about you, Nina.
Okay. Knew this was coming. I knew this was coming.
Listen, it's okay. So we didn't.
We
didn't have our Yiddy last week. The couple people who saw that were commenting on my post were very understanding and said that it is a valid excuse.
Okay.
But it's important in the podcasting industry to, have a set schedule and keep to it.
Yeah.
Which is why you getting so stoned on last Monday that you forgot we were doing a podcast and answering the door without pants on was next level. I gotta tell you, it made my day.
Oh my gosh.
It was not a problem at all. I laughed so hard. My mom was still here. I told her the story. Of course, embellished it a little bit, but as I was telling her, she almost had coffee go through her nose in 2 separate occasions.
I'm sorry. I was so embarrassed. And I know I was.
Too stoned
I
to be
really
embarrassed.
was. I
You were
really
embarrassed
was.
that afternoon.
No, I was so embarrassed. And so you came over last Monday to do the podcast. Not only did you come over for our regular time to do the podcast, you came over and we're also trying to make up for the week prior in not bringing me coffee.
Yeah, that's true. I did do that.
You brought coffee to do the podcast, and it slipped my mind. It didn't feel like Monday. To me, in my mind, it was Sunday. It was not Monday at all. I was not prepared to do this podcast. I did get super stoned right before you happened to come over. And I answered the door without any pants on because I thought it was just a normal Sunday for me.
Which, like I said, not even a problem. I turned into your personal door.
You did. You brought me coffee. I tried to answer the door, and no, I didn't let Dubz just see me in my underwear. I had a blanket, but I was also like, hi, I have this blanket on me. I don't have pants on. And the boy, he happened to be home. He took that Monday off of work. So you and the boy are laughing at me in the kitchen while I'm freaking out. I run over. I'm like, let me go put pants on. And I was like fully trying. I was trying to mentally prepare myself. I was like, oh my God, I need to get pants on and I need to get my mind right. And we got to do this podcast.
Yeah. And I just yelled from the other room, like, we don't have to do it.
And I was like, no, we'll do it. And like literally 2 seconds later, I was like, okay.
Though a couple people did comment, like, you should have done it anyway. And
I was trying to get ready for it. I really was.
Might be right. No, because you would have gone all like professional broadcaster and prepared yourself, and everybody just wanted to hear you be really stoned.
Yeah.
Talking about Lucifer or something.
Oh my gosh. Not good. I'm so sorry. What I am
really complaining about is not that, because like I said, it made my day.
Okay.
It's just gas prices.
I know.
Because I had to drive literally from the other side of Denver. I drove from one side of Denver to, it takes me a half hour.
We live on separate sides of the city, exactly.
So I spent an hour driving that day for no reason.
Sorry. I'm so sorry. I know. I feel like I should pay you gas money now.
No, I don't think so. All right. Now for the we portion, and I think everybody knows what we're about to talk about.
Duh.
It's Will Smith and Chris Rock, in case you missed it last night. Now, Chris Rock has taken shots at Will Smith and Jada before.
He's a comedian.
That's what he does. And during the Oscars, he started kind of just going around the room making jokes.
Sure.
It wasn't just directed at them. He had a couple other
for
targets.
Other people. Yeah.
But recently, Jada has come out with saying that she has alopecia, which means that you lose all the hair on your body.
Yeah.
In extreme cases.
In extreme cases. There's different levels to it for sure, but like you can lose patches of your hair, and so some people choose to like shave their head. And
for her, it was so extreme that she decided to shave it all because she had lost so much of her hair.
Yeah.
So she's bald now, which... Man, black women who are hot can absolutely pull off the bald look. Like,
hell
I think she looks great
yeah.
still. But so Chris Rock makes a joke about G.I. Jane, which is a movie where Demi Moore has to shave her head.
Right.
And he makes a joke that Jada is going to be in G.I. Jane 2. And like...
She was also wearing a green dress.
I don't think that...
Okay, I'm just saying.
The breakdowns, though, are interesting of those moments.
Yeah.
Right? To go quickly through it, and then we can kind of go back and parse it out. Will Smith kind of like laughs, and Jada then stares daggers through Will Smith and Chris Rock.
Yeah.
She was clearly offended by it.
She was immediately offended because I watched that clip over and over again. And Will Smith laughed at the joke, and Jada's face the entire time was stone cold, like, what the hell?
And so Chris Rock kind of like does like a little tiny back pedal, but like he's Chris Rock, so he doesn't really.
And he's hosting. Yeah.
And so he's getting ready to move on to the next joke, and all of a sudden you hear him stop, and you don't know why. And he's like kind of looking off camera, not looking on camera.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden you see Will Smith walk up onto the stage.
Yes.
There's a solid 20 feet from when he gets on stage to when he gets to Chris Rock. Chris Rock has his arms behind his back. Will Smith does not say a word and cracks him in the face.
Yeah. Slaps him.
Yeah.
With a slap, because I've seen all the headlines like they punched you to whatever. There was a punch thrown. No, it was an open hand pimp slap.
But he slapped the shit out of it. Like, it was not like I don't know if I should be doing this slap. Like it was a full wind up slap.
Yeah,
and then just goes and sits down.
Yeah, Chris
Rock kind of tries to gather himself.
Yeah,
he's like, "Whoa, wow, it was just a G.I. Jane joke," and Will Smith starts yelling from the crowd, "Keep my wife's name out your fucking mouth.
Keep my name out your mouth." Yep.
So, obviously, I'm sure you've all seen it, but that's just like the quick rundown of what happened there. Mm-hmm. There are a million things, and I had a million feelings about this. And it's funny because as I was going through them, trying to like parse out how I felt about it, it was all very hypocritical. Mm-hmm. So as a female, I'm interested as like, what is your perspective on what went down?
I feel like my perspective is not the popular one.
Okay.
So,
meaning what?
Meaning, I think all of this, it's not Will's fault. It's not Chris Rock's fault. I think all of this is Jada's fault.
Whoa.
I think all of this is Jada's fault.
The one who has the incurable disease who they made fun of?
It has nothing to do with it. Honestly, I don't think that has anything to do with it. I don't think that like the context of the joke has anything to do with it. I think that Jada pulls the strings in her marriage and her entire relationship with Will Smith. Will Smith has been so dragged down by this woman. Great, they're an empowering couple. I'm sure that they love each other. They have their moments for sure. But their marriage has also like been under scrutiny for so long. Yeah. And like Jada cheating on Will and walking the red carpet with like the dude that she was banging at the time. And but we had an open relationship and blah, blah, blah. Sure, that's the celebrity cover up, right? But they talked about the fact that Will was hurt by it. He was hurt by it. And for the last several years, Will Smith has been criticized as a man, as a father, as a husband, as a caretaker in every single way because of what happened in his marriage with Jada. And Jada just, doing her red table talk and she gets to have the last say because she has the show. And sure, she had Will on a couple times and they'll talk it out, blah, blah, blah. But I just feel like Jada pulls the strings in their relationship. And I think Will is stressed and tired and doing whatever he can to save his marriage and be with this woman that he loves. But she, as far as I can see, doesn't give Will the same respect that he gives her in their marriage. And I think that like all of this and Will being under scrutiny for the last several years in their marriage, and it's all your fault, Will, and she cheated on you and you should have done something about it, and blah, 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 for years and years and years, he cracked. I think he cracked.
So you think that he felt pressure to do it because of
the
history of the marriage?
Yeah, and she gave him a look like, you better go defend me. Defend me right now.
But if he does that, like, okay, so your initial reaction is, I got to go smack the shit out of this guy, right?
You got to do something. His wife's looking at him. Do something right now.
When you stand up and start walking up that dais, you got like 50 feet to like reassess.
To think about what you're about to do.
Reassess that decision. You know what I mean? Like, you got to know that that's not the right way to go about it.
For sure. But again, it's been years of this stress building up. It's been years of that building up, and that's just how I see it. Yeah. I see a man that has been broken down and was not sure what the hell he was going to do. And out of respect for another comedian, another actor, someone else who's been in this industry as long as he has, quite frankly, with Chris Rock, like, what do I do? Do I punch him in the face? I'm already walking up to him. I don't know. He probably should have just chosen some words to say.
Yeah, like you could have gotten right in his face.
Sure, and yelled at him, or
been like, listen, this is not a joke.
Yeah.
And he could have said the same thing he said while he was sitting down.
I think he just didn't know what to do and just smack. Like, I don't know. I just see a really broken man, and I feel bad for Will Smith, especially because this is going to be the talk of the next several months.
Yeah, and I've already seen people be like, we want it wrapped up by noon tomorrow. Can we finish this whole discourse? I don't know. So I was sitting there, and I kept like thinking about different aspects of it and agreeing with different things, and all of a sudden realized that they were all very hypocritical.
Yeah.
So like I wrote them all down because it was really hard for me to keep straight.
I know
whose side I was on.
There's a lot going on. So what did you find?
So like the first thing is stand up for your lady. Absolutely.
Sure.
Like, I absolutely think that should be something that is okay and is celebrated in this world. Mm-hmm. You only have so many people that are on your side in life.
Right.
And
your husband should be one of them.
Right. Like, it should be ride or die. I get that. But like, you don't have to take it to violence. Right? Like, if he would have just sat in his chair and yelled the way that he did, I would have had a way more
because he was
respect
serious.
For
him. You could hear it in his voice.
As soon as he yelled,
how
everybody
serious
was like,
he was.
Yeah, like that's real.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And to that end, Chris Rock, like, it is a incurable disease that she has just like gotten on the internet and
to talk about
to everybody that she had.
Yeah.
You think she didn't spend days or nights crying?
Sure.
Especially when like people, I mean, this is gonna sound bad, but like for celebrities, their image is part of who they are.
I mean, there's a lot of aspects when it comes to it. It's, yes, her celebrity and her public image, her livelihood, but just the fact like hair is also very sensitive to women. Yeah. Hair is also very sensitive to Black women. Yeah. There's a lot of pride in your curls and your hair and stuff. And so if you're losing that, then yeah, I can absolutely see that being like huge for you.
So then part of me was like, Chris Rock, you don't need to go there.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Then I found myself agreeing with Will Smith because we live in a time where people have gotten too okay with saying stuff from behind a keyboard where there are no consequences for what you say.
Yeah. But we've also gotten so sensitive at the same time on that. Right?
This is what I said. Like,
it's hard.
I find myself being very hypocritical. So, like, do I think he should have gone up there and smacked him? No. But he went up there and smacked him. So, like, fine. Chris Rock, you had to pay for the words that you said.
Yeah.
But then Will Smith also has to pay for slapping a dude in the face on the Oscars.
Who the host, he's doing his job.
And like, there's no response from the venue or the Academy?
There is, though.
Well,
kinda.
Not really. Like, they're doing it post-mortem. You know what I mean? Like, like if you would have let
Well, because that was such a shocking moment. Like, what do you even do?
They do this at concerts all the time. Like, if you let Will
Smith... 2
A-list
stars? That doesn't happen often.
You let Will Smith go sit down, and then you send security over there, and you say, we're kindly asking you to leave. You don't have to touch him. You don't have to get physical. You just bring a couple security guards out there and you say, we're asking you to leave.
But
now, the reason that they didn't is because he was nominated for Best Actor.
And 1 minute later.
And then we had to listen to him give a speech about love. I mean, it was, what kind of message are you sending? Like, if you want to send the message that you're responsible for your words and your actions, and that you can do that if you want, but there's going to be a consequence, right? Like, Chris Rock can make that joke, but there's going to be a consequence, which is Will Smith walking up on that dais and smacking you in the face.
I guess.
Well, guess what? Will Smith, you can walk up on that dais and smack him in the face.
There's going to be a consequence.
And it's that the one time you win an Oscar for Best Actor.
That's the moment people remember.
And so, you know, to have somebody up there and say, like, unfortunately, Will Smith is no longer here. We've asked him to leave due to events earlier tonight, but we'll accept this reward on his behalf.
But the Smiths are such a
punishment.
But the Smiths are such a powerhouse that, like, do you just kick out the entire Smith family, even their kids?
No, their kids are adults. The man walked up on stage uninvited and smacked the host. I can't Anybody else would be in jail.
But obviously they weren't going to do that, and they didn't do that. There's no way. There's no way that they would have ever have done that.
They should have. That's what so as I'm trying to like find my way through this as to like who I agree with, that is where I landed is like, all right, well, you can do that.
Yeah.
And what you're saying is, hey, there are consequences for your actions for speaking like you spoke.
Yeah.
But then you also have to accept the consequences for your actions. And if that means that the consequences for his actions were he doesn't get to give a Best Actor
in such a high pressure live show like that, there's so many executives, there's so many producers, there's so many people who are running that show. How do you get in a matter of minutes everyone to be like, okay, go ahead, kick him out? There's no way. There's no way.
You don't have to okay it with any. There's one producer of that show. There's one director. There's one producer. The decision needs to be made between the two of them, and you got to have your guys back. That is a huge security risk. And like, think about the next time you go to random Joe Schmo comedy club and he's up there and an audience member is heckling him, and whoever takes a shot at the audience member, he's not going to think to himself, I'm going to go up there and smack him just like Will Smith did. Like,
oh my gosh. I mean, I guess, but this is Will Smith we're talking about, who's up for the award. I know, but I'm trying to, like, that's why they didn't kick him out. That's why that consequence wasn't a thing. And the Academy.
So hypocritical.
Yeah, for sure. And the Academy is now trying to say, like, oh yeah, last night's events, we don't condone violence, blah, blah, blah. We're going to look at whatever possible consequence they can have for Will Smith, which I have no, what are they going to do? Take away his Oscar?
They could.
I couldn't imagine them actually doing it. There's no way.
That's such a bullshit PR move. Like, they obviously waited until after he won and he gave the speech.
Life isn't fair.
They just get to say it. And
life isn't fair.
Well, we're going to look into it. Look into what? You saw exactly what happened.
Exactly. Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Now, I do have to ask you this. At any moment, like, how long did it take you to convince yourself that it was real?
It did take a minute. It did take a minute because you're like, oh, this is a publicity stunt. Like, that's so obvious.
Well, and I saw a couple people on Twitter, too, that had the same reaction that I did. That was like, oh, award shows have been failing for...
Their ratings have been going down so bad.
5, 10 years. Nobody cares anymore.
No one watches it.
And all of a sudden, like, you need to have a moment go viral, and Will Smith slapping Chris Rock is absolutely going to go viral. So for me, it was like, This has to, like, even if the hit was real, like, this has to be planned or staged or something.
I guess.
But then the more I watched it, I kind of convinced myself it was real. How did you...
When you watch it, yeah, because the way that Chris Rock had to compose himself, and he was trying to move forward, but then he was still stumbling, trying to like rack his brain about like, wow, that actually just happened. Yeah. So you could see that moment of him like thinking about that, and just the tone of Will Smith's voice. But they are all actors, so you never know. Right. But my thing is like, I don't think this is a publicity stunt, because this is Will Smith and Chris Rock. For what? They don't need that. What is the Oscars going to do? Pay them maybe $1 million, $2 million? Hey, do this for us for our ratings? The fuck do they care?
I mean, it's going to live forever.
Yeah.
So, like...
But it's negative. No one's like, yeah, Will Smith, good job. No, I haven't seen that at all. Everyone's making fun of everything. It's all negative.
Oh, I don't know.
I don't see any positive to it.
Oh, I mean, there's a ton of... I've seen a lot of tweets on Twitter of women like, if my man don't stand up for me like Will Smith does, blah, blah, blah.
I guess that's fine, but at the same time, you're talking to someone who blames Jada for the whole thing.
Right, yeah. So maybe bad person to ask, but...
Sorry. I do, though. I think it's her fault, the way she's been treating Will. She walks all over him. But at the same time, Will allows her to. That's their marriage, but I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, you sign up for what you sign up for. You know what I mean? So...
It's a lot. There's a lot to unpack there.
So much.
For sure.
It kind of... it can get into some very serious tones of things that, like, obviously we don't want to make light of at all.
Yeah.
But it's just like the level that it went to is so high, and I feel
it wasn't an all-out brawl. It was a slap.
He walked on stage.
Kanye did the same
from
thing.
His seat.
He walked on stage and took all the...
That was deplorable, too. Can we not make this a regular thing?
Yeah, we don't need that. We don't need that.
So, I don't know. I just feel like there was not a commensurate response to what it is that he did. You know what I mean? And like, I thought what he did was egregious.
I agree. And what kind of pissed me off afterwards too is the fact that they went to the after parties like nothing fucking happened.
And he's dancing with his Oscar.
And Will Smith is having a great time. Yeah. And I was just like, really?
Yeah.
That would piss me off. If I was Chris Rock, that shit would piss me off. Well, I wonder what the dynamic is between them, and like if they did talk, are they going to air it out? Or like, I don't know.
As much as I think he shouldn't have made the joke, because it's like, again, it's a disease that she has no control over.
Yeah, it was in poor taste.
His composure on stage to not like chase him down, swing back, like do anything. Like that. Yeah. If he had no idea that was coming, if it was all above board and what we saw was all real.
Yeah.
For him not to
react,
to swing back, to do something like, it's one thing if someone gets up in your face and you can keep your cool. I've been in a lot of situations where someone is trying to start a fight with me and I simply say like, it's not going to happen. I'm not going to swing at you. So say whatever you want to say, blah, blah, blah.
It was like Nicki Minaj trying to call out Miley Cyrus and Miley's just like, I'm going to move on.
Yeah. Look,
I don't know what to do.
I'm not talking about it. Like, you can say okay, whatever. But to actually physically get hit, like that's a whole nother line.
Yeah.
And like we've talked before on the podcast.
And a slap.
Yeah.
What's worse, getting punched or slapped?
That's a tough question.
I think slapped.
The disrespect is definitely.
I think slapped.
But to not have any reaction to a physical attack like that, like we've talked about people who have I've never fought before energy, and Will Smith had a little bit of I've never fought before energy there, because. You think he's been in a real fight? The kid was a superstar age 16. Yeah. You know what I mean? And so he had like a I've never been in a real fight before energy there to walk up and slap somebody like that and think you're just gonna about face and walk off the stage is like that takes some major cojones. Like, and for Chris Rock not to go after him was interesting. Like what would have happened?
I don't know.
Imagine the two of them just brawling on the stage.
That would have been more acceptable.
Yeah, I mean, That's one way to say it.
I know it is. It is interesting that nothing really stemmed of it, and then Chris Rock is not pressing charges or anything, which I wouldn't expect him to press charges, to be completely honest. Like, what is that going to do? What is that going to do for a bunch of millionaires in Hollywood?
Make a point. Like, Will Smith went up there to make a point. Chris Rock can also try to make a point.
It's not going to do anything, though. It's just going to piss off Will Smith, and they're going to hate Chris Rock forever because he pressed charges, and they're going to pay the fine and move on with their lives. No point is going to be made.
I don't know, man. Because if it was me, I'd probably end up in the same situation as Chris Rock, which is I don't react right away like I should. And then I go home and I regret not doing anything.
Well, I'm sure this isn't over. Everyone's going to want to hear from the both of them. And Chris Rock, I'm sure, is getting his feelings together. They're seeing all the headlines. They're seeing what people are saying. I'm sure it's going to fuel him and infuriate him. And who knows? This is not anywhere near over. Just because it happened last night.
But if you're Chris Rock, can you do anything but pacifism now? Like, it's not like the next time he sees Will Smith, he can walk up to him and smack him in the face. You know what I mean? Like, the commensurate response had to be in the moment. And in the moment, he decided to go Dalai Lama on that shit. And if that's his path, like, then he has to stay on that path.
I guess, but I don't know.
Non-violent, I'm not going to do anything about it. I'm bigger than this.
It's going to be interesting to hear what Chris Rock has to say about it when he does like his first interview and is asked about it. Because you know that moment's going to happen.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to hear what he has to say.
Oh, man.
From all of them, quite frankly. From Jada, from Will, from Chris Rock, from all of them.
Okay, one last thing I want to touch on before we switch to the good news, which we do still have good news.
I know.
On this podcast. But this is just, we had to spend, I've wanted to talk about this for 24 hours since it happened.
What?
That slap was brutal. Like, I mean, it was full wind up. Mm-hmm. Now, open fist, granted, like his hand was open.
Yeah. But
full follow through, like he put everything he had into it. Uh-huh. You ever slap somebody like that? Not like the "how dare you, you're talking to me," or like "get your hand off my butt," like a full "I'm trying to hurt you" smack.
Fighting with like a cousin or a sister when you're a kid, like I don't know, when you're kids, and then
full wind up.
That was a serious slap for sure.
It was real. I think there's like, I think I've only punched somebody that hard. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think I've ever slapped somebody like that. It was violent.
Yeah, it was pretty hard. I think anyway, it looked hard.
Well,
we'll see.
Are you saying that you didn't think it was real?
I don't know. No, I think it was real. I don't think the slap was as hard as you think it is, though.
Are you kidding me?
I don't. I think he had a little. I think he had a little like I think a little acting. I think he had a little resistance, like Will Smith, because like you said, the whole 50 feet as he's walking up there, like, what am I gonna do? What am I gonna do? What am I gonna do? I'm on television. It's the middle of the show. He's thinking about all these things for sure.
Is he?
I mean, he's fueled by anger.
Yeah, it might have just been a rage.
But hello, there's a whole audience and cameras and lights around you.
Yeah.
So how do you not think about that a little bit?
I mean, I definitely would. As soon as I took like 2 steps up that stage, I would definitely think about it. And at 1,000,000 miles a second, my head would be going like, okay, you can't actually slap this guy, but you got to do something. Like, are you committed to the slap or can you do something else? Because like you are on the stage now. And there's
maybe the slap was because he didn't want to punch him. Maybe he had that thought. Like, am I going to punch him with all my might? Like, nah, slap's fine. And then just with the same motion, but it still happens to be hard.
Nah, slap's fine. Remember that next time you're all fucking stoned.
And slap's fine.
And I come over and drive a half hour over here to do a podcast. You're not ready for it.
I'll do my best to keep track of Mondays. No promises, but.
Nah, slap's fine. All right, good news. We're switching to the good news.
All right, what we got?
This I just kind of thought was cool. Super quick. There's going to be a new tree house resort in Tennessee. The Great Smoky Mountains National Park is going to build 130 tree houses and turn them into a tree house resort, so you can rent a tree house room in the national park and stay there. They hope all of them will be open by the summer of 2022, so this summer. But yeah, I just thought that was like, what a cool way to spend a vacation. If you're like, you know, we're going to go to the national park. That's like, one day you got to park, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
How about you wake up in the national park?
In the trees.
Yeah.
That's
kind of cool.
That is really cool. So my parents just bought a house kind of in that area.
Yeah.
And so I've gone to visit a couple times, and they took me to this place. It's called Anakista. And I seen it on TikTok and stuff, and we had to go, and it's like a treetop like amusement park almost. Like there's not rides or anything like that, but you're like, you take a ski lift all the way up this mountain, and then you got the views, you're like at the tree line, and it's really pretty. And then they have these bridges, like wooden bridges that like, it's like a walk basically, like a trail, but it's a trail floating in the trees.
Yeah, that's cool.
And you're walking from like bridges, tree to tree. So I wonder if it'll probably be in that same area because people love it.
Maybe
so
connected to that or something.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, that would be super cool. And I
something
just think,
to check out.
Like, I think it's such a cool way. It's why, like, I always tell people, if you're going on a beach vacation, stay on the beach. Like, spend the extra money, because to be able to like wake up and hear the waves, and then you just like take an elevator and you're on the beach.
Yeah.
And you don't have to worry about like parking or how are we going to get there, or the sandwiches are in the car or some bullshit like that. You know what I mean? Like it's worth the extra $50 a night to just stay on the beach. And I think this is the same thing. So.
For sure. We're having my bachelorette party on the beach.
Oh.
Kind of.
Oh.
Is it okay that I'm like 2 blocks from the beach?
Yeah, I mean, if you can.
We
like,
tried to spend the money.
See the beach.
Oof, shit's expensive out there.
No.
Oof.
But if you can, like, like, as long as you don't have to worry about like making plans to get to the beach.
Yeah.
I mean, like, don't be like.
We walk 2 blocks.
Yeah, don't be like a 15-minute drive. You know what I mean?
For sure.
Then it's like a whole thing. And then, like,
and then
wake
parking.
Up the second day and you're sunburned. You're like, I don't want to do this.
Exactly.
I mean?
Not worth it.
Yeah. So. All right, and then finally, our whack ass of the week that Nina Blanco normally brings to us. What'd you have for this week, Nina?
We had that guy you were talking, that former player. Is that what we're talking about?
I don't know. What are we talking about?
I thought that's what we were talking about. Is that dude?
What dude?
That dude you said.
What dude?
He's running for some government.
Oh, you want to talk about Herschel Walker?
Is that what we were talking about? I thought we were talking about him. Exactly.
I thought you were going to talk about Empower Field being on fire.
Yeah.
And whoever lit the Broncos Stadium on fire.
Imagine. So construction crews, they were working on who knows what at Empower Field.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden a fire breaks out. Imagine being like that construction worker who was like.
You heard it was a welder, right?
That's what I had heard is like it might be a welder and the sparks and something caught. Like, what if you were the welder?
You wouldn't think that like the plastic chairs are gonna catch on fire.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Exactly. Or like sometimes the wind picks up. Like who knows? There might have just been like some crusty leaves or something in the corner. You know, like that happens. It's an open air stadium. So I don't know. Just imagine you're working and then all of a sudden. You caught Empower Field on fire. Yeah. Like, it's not intentional, but like, still.
Construction worker in Denver, I think it's a fair assumption, like, probably a Broncos fan.
Yeah, right?
And you lit the stadium on
You're wearing Broncos orange and construction orange all at the same time.
And you probably, like, came home to your wife one day and was like, I got this amazing job. I get to go work on an Empower Field at Mile High Stadium.
It's going to be
such
so
a huge
cool.
Bronco fan. This is so cool to go there for work.
They're going to let us on the field one time.
And then all of a sudden just black billowing smoke coming from the stadium.
Not good.
Okay. Let's end it with that because Herschel Walker does suck. And if any of you have heard him speak ever, he is just the dumbest human being on the planet.
He sounds like an idiot. He sounds like a straight fool.
You want to go look up Herschel Walker. He will share our whack ass of the week with whoever the poor soul, probably Broncos fan, who lit the stadium on fire.
Oh, man.
All right, thank you so much for joining us. I was gonna say we do this every Monday.
We do this every Monday,
except for ones where Nina gets
just
so high
sometimes.
that she forgets.
Sometimes I forget.
If you want more entertainment like Nina Blanco being so stoned she forgets to do the podcast, you can follow her at the Nina Blanco on all the social medias.
Yes, and you can follow Dubz at Dubz the Third on all the social medias.
Thank you for listening to
Yeti!